جديد بسم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأنتم تسمعون بعدما علمتم
Wait, I don't wait it. Yeah, أنتم تسمعون. We still بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We still doing this verse here. يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله ورسوله ولا تولوا عنه وأنتم تسمعون. Oh, you believe, أطيعوا الله, obey Allah Ta'ala and His Rasul, ولا تتولوا عنه, and do not turn from Him, وأنتم تسمعون, whilst you are hearing, whilst you can. And we discussed the 4 different types of hearing. One is just to hear, one is to hear and understand, one is to hear, to understand, to practice, etc., etc., right? So, وأنتم تسمعون, right? Right, so وأنتم تسمعون بعد ما علمتم ما دعاكم إليه. How can you disobey Allah Ta'ala, right? بعد ما علمتم, after you know ما دعاكم إليه, that which He called you towards it, right? Carry on.
ولا تكونوا كالذين قالوا سمعنا وهم لا يسمعون.
Right, ولا تكونوا كالذين قالوا سمعنا. Do not be like those people who says سمعنا, we heard, but ولا يسمعون, they did not. They say that we heard, but they did not hear with the intention of practicing. Right, carry on. Yeah. So who is this? Qila al-murad. What is meant by this is the mushrikun, right? Right. واختار ابن جرير. Ibn Jarir chose his explanation, right? وقال ابن إسحاق. Ibn Ishaq said, right. هم المنافقون. These are the munafiqun. فإنهم يظهرون. They give the impression أنهم قد سمعوا, that they heard, واستجابوا, and they've answered, but وليسوا كذلك, but it is not like that in reality. Right, right. ثم أخبرت, so Allah is informed أن هذا الدر, these people here that act like they heard and they know, etc., etc., أن هذا من بني آدم, right, that they act like they heard what is happening, and they understood, etc., but they are in fact the worst people, right? Right. So then Allah Ta'ala goes on further to say, Inna sharra dawabi indallah, the worst of the creatures on this land, indallah, but Allah Ta'ala is who? As-summu, what? Right, which means they are deaf. They are ansima'il haqqi, from hearing the truth. They cannot hear the truth. They don't understand the truth, right? Then al-bukmu, what is buk? Dam, right? And fahmihi, from understanding what the truth is, right? That is why Allah says, وَلِهَذَا قَالَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ, those people who do not understand, right? Yeah. So for هؤلاء, these people, شَرُّ الْبَرِيَّةِ, they are the worst of creation. Why? لأن كل دابة ممن سواهم مطيئة, because every creation from besides them مطيئة لله فيما خلق لها, they are obedient to that which Allah Ta'ala created for them for. Like an animal is been created to eat, to excrete, to procreate, etc. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's doing what he's supposed to do. So that is why a human being is not doing what he's supposed to do. That's why he's worse than this other animal creation, right? Right. وهؤلاء, because mankind, وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون, وهؤلاء خلقوا للعبادة, they have been created for ibadat, right? وهؤلاء خُلِقُوا لِلْإِبَادَةِ, right? But فَكَفَرُوا, but they denied, they rejected, right? وَلِهَذَا شَبَّهَهُمْ بِالْأَنْعَامِ. That is why Allah Ta'ala compares them to what? To animals. في قوله تعالى, in his statement, أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. These people, they are like animals. بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. No, they're even worse, right? أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. These are the negligent people, the unmindful people of Allah Ta'ala, right? And it is said in some opinions, وَقِيلَ الْمُرَادُ بِهَؤُلَاءِ, who are the people that are mentioned here, that in the شَرَّ الدَّوَابِ, etc., right? Who is it? الْمُرَادُ بِهَؤُلَاءِ الْمَذْكُورِينَ نَفَرٌ مِنْ بَنِي عَبْدِ الدَّارِ, is a group from the tribe of Bani Abd al-Dar, from the Quraysh, right? Right. So ثم أخبر على طرف informing بأنهم, them, for them, لا فهم لهم صحيح. They don't have a proper true understanding, right? ولا قصد لهم صحيح. Neither do they have pure, proper determination to do what is right. So ولو فرض أن لهم فهما, if it's supposed that they had a true understanding, ولو فرض أن لهم فهما, right? فقال, and they said, right? ولو علم الله فيهم خير, if Allah Ta'ala had to know in them خير, and there's goodness, there's a desire to follow the truth, there's that quest, that thirst, that knowledge, right? لأسمعهم أي لأفهمهم. If Allah Ta'ala had to find in them that desire, that, sometimes people have preconceived notions, people have preconceived ideas. They're not interested in the truth. People come in with preconceived notions, preconceived ideas, and even if the truth is presented to them, they're not interested in accepting the truth, right? So that's why Allah Ta'ala is saying that these people here, they have preconceived notions, they have preconceived what you call it, objectives. So since they're not interested, Allah Ta'ala is not interested as well. So وَلَوْ عَلِمَ اللَّهُ فِيهِمْ, if Allah Ta'ala had known in them khayran, any goodness, لَأَسْمَعَهُمْ, He would make them understand, أي لَأَفَهَمَهُم, right? He would make them understand. Yeah, وَتَقْدِيرُ كلام, right? وَلَا أَسْمَعهُم, right? Carry on. Right. So لكن لا خير فيهم فلم يفهمهم لأنه يعلم أنه. So Allah Ta'ala is seeing there's no desire, there's no initiator from their side, they're not interested in following the truth. So say, so that's what they're saying there. ولكن لا خير فيهم فلم يفهمهم لأنه يعلم أنه, because Allah Ta'ala knows. Yeah. So even لو أفهمهم, if to make them understand, لتولوا عن ذلك قصدا, they would turn away, right? Intentionally, إنادا, and out of stubbornness, بعد فهم ذلك, after having understood that, وهم معرضون, while they will be turning away, right? So that brings us to the end of the Arabic of that one. So now we got Chi. Okay, so now we've got another verse. We're gonna do the English, right? Maybe we do the English today, or we then tomorrow. All right. Okay, read the next verse, Yusuf. Loud.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أيها الذين آمنوا استجيبوا لله والرسول إذا دعاكم لما يحييكم واعلموا أن الله يقول بين الحق وقلبه وأنه إليه تحشرون.
Okay, بسم الله الرحمن أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا استجيبوا لله وللرسول إذا دعاكم لما يحييكم واعلموا أن الله يحول بين المرء وقلبه وأنه إليه تحشرون. Right? All those who believe respond to Allah and the Messenger when He calls you to what gives you life, and be sure that Allah Ta'ala intervenes between man and his heart, and that to him you shall be gathered. In the fifth verse, verse 24, believers have been addressed once again, commanded to obey Allah Ta'ala and His Messenger in a particular manner. They have been told that the thing to which Allah Ta'ala and His Messenger invite you is something which brings no benefit to Allah and His Messenger per se. Instead of that, divine injunctions have been prescribed for nothing but their own benefit. So in other words, you by practicing, etc. See, it doesn't benefit Allah and His Messenger, right? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu stajibu lillahi wa lirasulihi. So if you answer the call of Allah and His Rasul, it doesn't benefit Allah and His Rasul in any way, but you only benefit yourself, right? Instead of all that, all divine injunctions have been prescribed for nothing but their own benefit. So said in the manner pointed to above, istajibu lillahi wa lirasul idha da'akum lima yuhikum. Respond to Allah and the Messenger when He calls you to what gives you life. So what is the life mentioned in this word? When He calls you to that which will give you life. So what does it mean to give you life? You know, we are all living. What is the life mentioned in this verse? Since several possibilities exist in its interpretation, learned commentators have taken different interpretive positions. According to Sadiyi, that life-giving is iman, it is faith, because the disbeliever is dead. If you got no iman, you are a spiritually dead person. But when you have faith, then you are like a living person, right? So when you answer Allah Ta'ala, you will have life. That is Quran, in which lies all life and success of both the worlds, dunya and akhirah. Mujahid said that is the truth. Ibn Ishaq said it means jihad, through which Allah Ta'ala also conferred honor on Muslims. All these probabilities mentioned here are sound as they are. There is no contradiction to them, right? So what Qatada said, that is the Quran in which lies life. So if you take it the Quran, or you take it to mean life, there's no contradiction, because actually the source of iman is what? Is Quran. So they are concomitants of each other, not separable, right? That is a jihad through which Allah has conferred honor on Muslims. All these probabilities mentioned here are sound, right? All these as they are. There's no contradiction in them. The largest sense is that Iman, Quran, or the following of the truth are things which put life into the heart, and the life of the heart is nothing, but that everything which becomes a barrier between the Creator and the created, barriers like desire, should be removed from the way of truth, leaving it free from whatever obstructions there are, in order that the heart is filled with the light of insight into the Creator, subhanAllah. Based on a narration from Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala in Tirmidhi Sharif and Nasa'i, have reported that on a certain day the Holy Prophet sent for Sayyidina Ubay ibn Ka'ab, was busy with his salah at that time. However, he completed salah sooner than he would have normally done, and presented himself before the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He asked, "Why did you come so late despite that I called you?" Sayyidina Ubay ibn Ka'ab submitted his excuse. "I was in the state of salah." I said, "Do you not hear what Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu stajibu lillahi wa lirrasul idha da'akum." Respond to Allah and the Messenger when He calls you. Sayyidina Ubay ibn Ka'ab so says, "I shall obey from now on. If you call me, even when I am making my salah, I shall present myself before you immediately." Subhanallah. So on this basis, it is on the basis of this hadith, the some Muslim jurists have said that anything during salah in obedience to the command of the Messenger of Allah Ta'ala should not be taken as an interference with salah. Subhanallah. So even if you're reading salah, but there's another command of shari that come, then that command can override your salah, right? During the convenience of should not be taken as anything salah. However, there are other jurists who say that salah should be terminated due to it being contrary to the standard rules governing salah and should have to be offered as a qada, later replaced for the must or terminated salah. But the proper thing to do is that should the Holy Prophet call someone, even if it's a state of salah, then you should terminate the salah and obey the call. As for this form of obedience, it is exclusive to the Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But there are other occasions when one may apprehend the danger of serious loss coming to someone, then at that time too, salah should be terminated and amends be made by offerings qada. For example, if a person in the state of salah sees that a blind man is about to reach and fall in a well or a ditch, then he should immediately terminate the salah and go to save the handicapped man. At the end of the verse, it was said, وَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَحُولُ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَقَلْبِهِ, and be sure that Allah intervenes between man and his heart. The sentence can have two meanings, and both vibrate with great wisdom and good counsel, something one should always remember and live by. One possible sense of the sentence is when you are blessed with the opportunity of doing something good or staying safe from sin, then go ahead and do it immediately. Make no delay and take the lease of time so granted to be a blessing, because there are occasions when divine decree becomes an intervening factor between man and his intention. So when you have the desire, the inspiration to do good, do it immediately before Allah Ta'ala snatches away that desire, right? Because there are occasions when divine decree becomes an intervening factor between man and his intention, and he cannot succeed in doing what he intends to do. Maybe a sickness overtakes, or death itself does, or some preoccupation emerges out of nowhere, and one just does not get the time to do that good before and avoid the sin. Therefore, human beings should welcome the leave grant in terms of the years of life and access and time, and refuse to put off until tomorrow what must be done today. For who knows what is going to happen tomorrow? So whatever you can do today, you do it today, right? I do not say that you run into some loss or go for some gain. Whatever be your option, oh man, unaware of time, be quick. The second possible meaning emerges from this, from the indication given by the sentence that Allah Ta'ala is very near to His servant. In fact, in another verse, it's mentioned, نَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْمَرِيدِ. Allah Ta'ala says that He is close to man, much closer than His jugular vein. That's the sense, is that the heart of man is in a special way at the discretionary disposal of Allah Ta'ala at all time. When He was working, keep a servant of His protected from evils, He put a barrier between his heart and sins. And when misfortune is fated for someone, the barrier is replaced between his heart and any possible good deeds by him. Therefore, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to include the following prayer frequently: Ya muqallibal qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. Subhanallah. O controller, O reverse of the hearts, keep my heart firm on the faith chosen by you. Ultimate outcome of this too is no other than that one should not delay doing what one must be done in obedience to the injunction of Allah Ta'ala and His Rasul. Rather, one should take the least of time given to him as a God-given opportunity and just go ahead and do it, for no one knows whether or not the surge and urge of this good deed remains active later on. Subhanallah. So that is the crux of it, that when you have the desire to do good, do it immediately. Do not delay, because you do not know what will happen. You do not know what will come into you at a later stage, right? Okay, so we finished the English. So tomorrow we'll do the Arabic of that, and then we will wrap up, inshallah, for the year. May Allah Ta'ala accept it. Then, inshallah, next year we will continue with all what has been remaining, right? But subhanallah bihamdi, subhanakallah bihamdika, wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Allah Ta'ala accept. Allah Ta'ala make it a means of forgiveness. Allah Ta'ala make it a means of shifa. May Allah Ta'ala cure us and heal us with the barakah of the shifa. Subhanallah.